I guess the thing that's remarkable is when you started the company, you had this thesis where you were betting that a lot of companies were going to build their own custom deep learning pipelines to train birds, right? That was like the thing that was working. But in 2022, you saw the hockey stick shift, that suddenly there would be one model that would rule them all. So you were foreshadowing a lot of the future. And there's a lot of it that came from that conviction. So I'm curious, what were those signs? Because you had to be really embedded into it to, we're making already seven figures. You could have raised a Series A. You're like, we're going to throw that all that away and burn it.
Yeah, so actually, even crazy enough, we had raised our Series A at that time.
Okay, you
So we
raised
had,
it.
but whether or not we should have been able to is a different question. No, I think you're totally right. I think one of the things that was happening at the time was we were working with, largely speaking, these autonomous vehicle companies because they had the largest sort of deep learning workloads at the time, and we were sort of seeing, hey, that workload is growing and it's large, but we were betting fundamentally that the other workloads, which were these other natural language workloads, kind of like these workloads in these other industries like financial services, healthcare, would take off. But I think once we saw these models, these generative models, handle so many of the use cases, right? Maybe an example is in the past you would train a BERT model to actually go out and do sentiment classification, but very quickly when we tried even a bad version of GPT-3, like the very old version, we were like, this is going to kill sentiment classification. There's no reason why anyone is going to train a very custom model anymore for this task. I think we saw the writing on the wall that our hypothesis was just wrong. Right. And that's like one of those things, right? You go in with some thesis on where you believe the space is going to go, but if your hypothesis is wrong and information on the ground changes, you have to change really fast.
So then what did you decide to do? So it's like you decided, okay, we're going to pivot. And when we work with founders, that's kind of stage one. So you're not half foot in, half foot out. So you had that conviction. We need to